Hey everybody, welcome to the Team Integrity team call. It is Monday, July 9th, I believe. Yes, it is. And tonight we are talking about expanding your network. Super important, you guys. We want to always be expanding our network online, in person, however you need to do that. And Rachel and I are going to give some tips on how to do that both ways. The importance of this is when you are proactively sharing Isagenix with other people, think about how fast you're going to run through your friends and family, right? Probably in a couple days, you have called them, seen them at a family thing, or sent them a message, and then you're going to be looking around like, okay, well now what? Who can I tell about Isagenix? So it's very important to be expanding your network. Also, for someone like Rachel, who's been doing this for 3 or 4 years, or any prolonged amount of time, you're going to need to always be making new friends and expanding your horizons, basically meeting new people, but also meeting their networks, like tapping into someone who has a really cool network as well. You never know. So it's really important to do that, and we're going to give some tips on how to do that today. So I'm going to talk about how to expand your network online, mostly with social media, and I'm going to emphasize heavily on how to do that without being weird, without being salesy, without being that overly aggressive used car salesman person, because nobody likes that. Nobody wants to feel sold to. So that's going to be, I'm going to give you some tips on that. And like I said, Rachel's going to give tips on how she expands her network in person, again, without being weird and creepy and like over the top. Okay, so Rachel, should I just get into it, or do you have anything you want to add? Get into it. Okay, cool. So I have my sticky, this is how I prepare for meetings, sticky notes. So, okay. Also, I did a little bit of math. Maybe I should start with that. So I went through and looked through all my enrollments. I've been doing this 2 years, over 2 years now. And I went through and looked through all my personal enrollments to see the breakdown of people I knew before I started Isagenix who have enrolled, people that I've met in person, just out and about, that enrolled in Isagenix, and then people that I met exclusively online that then signed up. And then friends of friends or referrals. So 42% of all my people I've enrolled are people that I knew before I started Isagenix. So I came into it, I have a very diverse background. I've done a lot of different sports, worked with a lot of different jobs. I happen to have connected with those people and happen to be friends with them on Facebook or Instagram before I started Isagenix. So they had been seeing my news feed and we've been connecting online. And then I started Isagenix, and then eventually at some point down the road, they saw what I was up to and we enrolled them. So 42%, that may be really, like, I don't know what the average is, but that may be somewhere in the middle, high, low. Rachel can share her numbers as well, but be thinking about that. 14% of my enrollments were people that I met in person. So I had started Isagenix, and then I met somebody out and about, in a mom's group or at the bus stop. That has literally happened. At a wedding, that kind of a thing. 15% I met online. So I was actually surprised to see that those two were almost dead even. These are people that found me on Instagram, found me on Facebook. I met them in a mom's group on Facebook or something like that. A lot of these people I still have never met in real life, but that's the power of social media these days. And then the other 30% are friends of friends or referrals from other people. Those are almost all online as well, but they are people that I've known in person in real life. So like, hey, my cousin really wants to lose weight, or hey, actually this happened, my ex-wife, can you help her? That kind of a thing. So friends of friends referrals. So 42% I knew before I started Isagenix. They're in my personal network. 14% I met in person out and about. Rachel's going to touch on that. 15% exclusively met online, social media, and 30% are friends of friends, referrals, that kind of a thing. So that's another reason why it's really good to tap into other people's networks and get to know other people, because you never know who they know and who their network is. Okay, so I'm going to get into this. So there's a few different ways that you can definitely expand your network on social media, and I'm just going to say Facebook, but it works for Instagram too. So the first thing would be when you see someone post something and it's getting a lot of comments on it. Like, one thing that works really well is if Rachel were to post, hey, I'm looking for a new book to read this summer, what do you guys suggest? And then they have a bunch of people commenting on the post. Look for people that are suggesting books that sound interesting to you. Maybe you've read that book. comment on their post. Oh my God, or reply to their comment. Oh, I love that book. Oh gosh, what's this about? That sounds interesting. Start a conversation with these people and then send a friend request to them. And I'll tell you what to do with the friend requests later. But utilizing your friends' posts and the people that are commenting on them, and you're going to have, even if it's a very short exchange, like, oh my gosh, your baby is so adorable. Send them a friend request. You know, they're going to be more likely to accept that friend request, especially since you have mutual friends. And if it's something like, what books do you suggest? You can kind of get a feel for what they're all about. And you can say, like, you know, if they're suggesting books that you think are like weird or inappropriate or something, then obviously don't interact with them. But if they seem like, you know, oh, okay, this person sounds like someone I want to be friends with. Same with movies or vacation spots, like anything like that. Those recommendation posts get a ton of interaction on them. Okay. Same thing if you're in any kind of groups, if you're in a mommy group, if you're in a chicken owners group, if you're in I Love Cupcakes group, there's a group for everything, honestly. And if you're in any of those groups, same thing. So if someone posts something, like, or if you post something and you get a lot of interaction, reply to some of the comments, read through those, send friend requests, utilize the work that someone else is doing in a way that makes sense to you, but don't just send blind friend requests. You have to respond to these people. And then if you do, so I did a post recently in a mom's group where I said, I am tired of all the negativity in my Facebook feed, which is funny because I have all sorts of positivity because I have all Isagenix friends, but a lot of people don't. So I said, you know, I'm just tired of negativity on my Facebook feed. You know what, like, I'm all about, and I listed things that I'm all about. I post about nutrition. I post cute photos of my baby. I like these things. If you want to, if that's your jam, if you're all about that too, send me a friend request. Let's connect. And then I also wrote on there, post a cute picture of your baby in this right now. Like, reply to this with a cute photo of your baby. And so many people love to post photos of their baby. And then I got to respond back to people. People were really supportive and they loved what I was saying. And then I sent a million friend requests. And on that post in particular, anyone who liked my post even, I sent friend requests to those people because they liked what I had to say. They liked positivity. They liked the topics I posted about. So those are some options there. Okay, now, the Facebook is really super cool and super smart. And there's a section, if you guys, I'm sure you've all seen it, that talks about recommended friends. Like, Facebook will recommend friends to you. They'll say, hey, you may know Deb because of whatever algorithm work they've done on the back end, and her face will pop up and give you the option to send her a friend request. So we want to utilize that because it's very similar to if you were at a wedding and you know the bride and groom and there's other guests at the wedding. The bride and groom are your mutual friends. So the same with Facebook, you're going to have mutual friends. And don't think about it as this weird online way of meeting people. It's the same as if you're meeting people in person. It's just obviously more efficient, I would say. So Rachel, can you go ahead and share your mobile phone screen first? So I'm going to show you a quick way to, so Facebook is really smart. They're suggesting these friends for a reason. Because they have something in common with you, because you have friends in common, and it's very likely that these are going to be people that you want to be friends with. So if you're on your phone, those 3 lines at the top right, that's actually called a hamburger menu. See how it's kind of like a bun, meat bun. You're going to click the hamburger menu. And then she's going to, I don't know where it'll show up on yours, but Rachel will scroll down just a teensy bit and she'll click friends. And then at the top, there's a menu. So by default, it's showing you your friend list, but these are people we're already friends with. Great. So she's actually going to scroll over to the left at the top there, and she's going to click on suggestions. And here are all the people that Facebook thinks she should be friends with. Now, the cool thing is that, so Rachel's obviously going to have a lot of people who are in Isagenix because she has a lot of, like, look at this person, Stephen Lavodi, she has 65 mutual friends with. Of course, Isagenix is going to say, okay, you probably already maybe even know this person. But what I suggest doing, so scroll down a little bit more, Rachel. Let's find someone that, okay, how about this Annalise Smith? So see how there's one mutual friend there? Click on her profile. Don't click add friend, but click on her profile if you don't mind. Scroll down and then click on friends and then click on mutual. Okay, so Megan. So if you want to unmute, how do you know Megan?
Megan, I met in a mom's group online when I was actually looking to hire someone to help clean our house when we did a 20 and 30. And Megan came and cleaned our house for a month while I did a 20 and 30.
Awesome. Okay. So this is someone who's not in Isagenix. If she would have clicked on that guy that she has 65 mutual friends with, it's probably an Isagenix person.
That's
So
Lisa
if you've
Taylor's
been,
brother. So yes, he's an Isogenics millionaire.
okay, awesome. So if you've been in Isagenix for a while, or you have a lot of Isagenix friends, then I would stay away from them. You don't want to fill your feed with a bunch of people who are already in Isagenix. You want to fill your funnel with people who are brand new. So if you go back out one more. So she can add a friend from this screen, or if you back out one more, it says right there, add friend. This is someone that I would definitely add as a friend. And so what I want you guys to do is go through your suggested friends, click through these people, and see who your mutual friends are. You will start to see some patterns. Maybe it's people you went to high school with. Maybe it's people that you go to church with. Maybe it's people that you used to work with. Did I already say that? No, used to work with. So that's going to give her great fuel to send a message. So she can add that friend. And then this is where you can play around with it. You can either wait till they accept your friend request, or you can send a message right away. I kind of like to wait until they accept the friend request, because friend messages can get filtered and tucked away in a weird folder if you're not already friends with somebody. Sometimes Facebook does that. So chances are, if you have mutual friends in common, you send someone a friend request, they're going to accept your friend request. You'll get a notification, hey, Katie Collins accepted your friend request, and then you can send a message. It's truly this simple. Imagine you're at a wedding, or you're at the mutual friends a barbecue. This actually happened to me yesterday. I was at my friend Andrea's barbecue. We sat next to this couple. I said, oh, how do you know Andrea? And they said, oh, we're Andrea's aunt and uncle. Oh, awesome. Do you live nearby? Yeah. Okay. So it's the same thing. So Rachel can go ahead and message that person and say, this is literally the verbiage I use. Hey, Facebook suggested that we be friends, and I saw that we have some mutual friends in common, or a mutual friend in common. I forget what that other girl's name was. This is mommy brain, but I know so-and-so through a mommy group that I'm in. Or no, yeah, well, that's how you know her, right? Or you could say she cleaned my house, but maybe no, don't say that. But like, I know her through a mommy group. How do you know her? Or I see that you used to work at BDA. That's where I used to work, at BDA. I used to work there too, in the marketing department. What department do you work in? Or those are pretty much the two common ones that I get. So these are people that you probably don't know, but that you have mutual friends in common with. The thing that I did in each of those messages is I ended with a question. It's so important to end in a question so that you can keep the conversation going. Okay, I know I'm going kind of fast through this, but most people are pretty familiar with their Facebook app. Does anyone have any questions on those particular steps? If you do, put them in the chat, and maybe Rachel can keep an eye on them, because I can't see. Okay, so we're not being weird. We're not writing like a weird email like, Dear Rachel Briscoe, I would like to be friends with you on Facebook. Please accept my request. Also, I'd like to sell you some products. Like, obviously, we're not going to talk like that. How would you talk to somebody at a wedding, at a barbecue, at anywhere where you know that you're going to have mutual friends? I don't know about you guys, but when I get a friend request, I click on that person and I do some scrolling to see who they are. How do they know me, or how do I know them? If I see that someone requests me and they're big into Isagenix, I don't accept their friend request, because I don't want it to muddy up my Facebook feed. That is for my friends and my business. So be strategic with who you're sending requests to, but it's just that simple. And keep the conversation going, asking questions. At some point, yes, Deb, yep. Click the hamburger menu and then friends. And then scroll to the left, suggested friends. At some point, Isagenix could come up in the conversation. And maybe it doesn't, but the truth is now they have their eye on you and you're on their radar, and they're going to be looking through your feed. They're going to be checking out your posts. As we know, it's important to be consistent with social media, so they probably are going to see, hey, Rachel has posted some workouts, and she's posted some transformations, and she posted this cute picture of her son drinking a shake. I wonder what this is all about. They may ask you, or it may come up in conversation where someone is like, you know, or you say, I just saw that you're pregnant. That's so amazing. Congratulations. How have you been feeling? And they may say, I feel amazing, or I feel miserable, Or I see that you've ran a marathon recently. That's amazing. How did you like it? Are you going to do it again? I'm always ending my messages in questions. You're digging deeper to find out. If the conversation never leads to Isagenix, that's totally fine, because like I said, they're going to be looking at your posts. They're going to be in your feed. If it does lead to Isagenix, amazing. So if you guys need more one-on-one coaching, ask, like if I enrolled you, if Rachel enrolled you, Carrie, ask somebody. We can definitely help you with screenshots and verbiage offline. This is a great way to kind of break the ice and get the conversation going. I feel like there was something else, but I can't remember. If I think of it, I'll come back to you. But that's essentially, send out 5 a day, 3 a day, 5 a day. Depends on how like actively you're trying to build your business right now. Keeping in mind that some people will respond right away and some people won't, but sending a friend request and leaving it at that is not enough. You have to engage with people. The other thing you can do too is keep an eye on their posts. So start commenting on their posts as well. Oh yeah, Rachel, that was it. We'll show you on the computer real quick too. Comment on their posts. Like, you need to actually be interested in these people, interested in what they're doing. Find something to ask them about. If you don't want to do the mutual friend option, send them a friend request, look on their page, find something that you genuinely are curious about. Genuinely. Lexi, I love that t-shirt in your profile photo. Where did you get that? Or, hey, I saw that you went to beach whatever lately. Would you recommend going there? I'm thinking about taking my family somewhere. So that shows that you're paying attention to their page and to their posts, and you're genuinely curious. Again, you just want to start conversations. Okay, so Rachel's going to share her screen on the computer. So it's different if you're on the computer for doing this as well. So here, she's going to go to the top. Do you see where all her notifications are? The first little 2 people, humans, is the friend. She's going to click on that, and then she's going to click on Find Friends. And then it's going to first show your friend requests. I have like hundreds of friend requests too, Rachel. That's so funny. Scroll down until you get past the friend requests. And right there. People you may know. That's the same thing. People you may know. And it's showing her, it looks like the same people. It is the same people, but the same thing. So you can add the friend right from there. But first, what I would do is click on their profile, see who your mutual friends are, figure out if this is even someone that you want to be friends with. Remember that. You don't have to send a request to every person. Take a look and see what they're all about. If they're posting nasty, negative, gross stuff, do not send them a friend request, you guys. This is not, like, we get to pick who our coworkers are. We get to pick who we want to attract into our business. So that's how you do it from the computer. So you go up to the top, you click the little people, you click Find Friends, and then scroll down to where it says people you may know. And same thing as on the phone. And you're going to do this. And this is a great way to expand your network. See how fast you could send 5 or 10 friend requests out? Like, Rachel's going to talk about how to do it in person, which is equally as important, as you can see from my numbers, but it takes a little bit longer, if that makes sense. Okay, hopefully that was helpful. That's it for me.
Yeah.
I could go on, but I'm not going to.
No, that was perfect. Okay, so I have a 4-year-old helper in here who's just so hell-bent on building his fort in this office while I'm on this call. So if it gets too loud, I can kick him out for a few minutes. But I want to talk to you guys about expanding your network offline, because when I was running through my numbers, so many of these people, I mean, the numbers are insane how many people I've met offline versus online. Online presence is still very important. Like Amanda talked about, expanding your network. I've still met a lot of amazing people, and I want to continue to be intentional about the people that I'm meeting online. But I want to talk to you guys about how to expand your network offline, because I think anyone will tell you those in-person relationships, whether you meet someone online, but then you foster a relationship offline, or you meet them offline and foster it online, the offline component is there in most of the people that you get to bring into Isagenix. So I'll share my numbers first, and then I'm going to talk to you guys a little bit about my network and where have been some of the more successful places that I've been able to meet a lot of cool people. Some people that you know on our team, I'm going to tell you how I met them. And then we'll be able to answer any questions that you guys have. So, hey, Caleb, I need you to go build that out here, okay? And then I'm almost done. Thank you, buddy. Thank you. I'm almost done, buddy. Thanks. Mom life. Okay, so when I ran through my numbers, I looked at how many people I met online that, like how many people I met online that said yes to Isagenix, and how many of my enrollments were people that I knew before Isagenix or people that I met offline. Okay, so when I say online and offline, I mean social media or not social media. So like in person, they were a referral over the phone. So any sort of like warmer connection versus like sitting at a computer, if that makes sense. So of my enrollments, 100% of my enrollments of people that I met online, they said yes because of an offline relationship. Okay, so again, the online component is there and it's important because I've met people online who have said yes to Isagenix, but they still said yes. 100% of them said yes because of an offline relationship that I built with them. An example of that, if you guys know Meg Sherbisman, she's just a complete doll. She's on our team. If you haven't met her yet, you'll meet her at Celebration. I had no idea who Meg was before Isagenix. I met her online. Our mutual friend was her husband, and she and I fostered a relationship over the phone for over a year before she said yes to Isagenix. So we met online, thank God for Facebook. Otherwise, I never would have met her because they lived in Alaska and then they lived in Utah. I still never would have met her if it wasn't for Facebook, but we fostered a relationship offline. Okay, so that is important to understand that it is going to take both components for 99.9% of your enrollments. And then of the enrollments of people that I already knew, so going into Isagenix, I'd already met them. We didn't meet online. We met at one of the universities I worked at or through church or at the park or wherever. Only 14% of those enrollments of people that I already knew offline said yes because of an online component. So an example of that would be Matt Bond. He and I knew each other in grad school, and we stayed in touch over Facebook, but not really like commenting. He wasn't on Facebook a whole lot, but then he saw me post something about my blood work, and he said, okay, we need to talk. And as I'm like picking up the phone to call him and he answers, he's basically already giving me his credit card info. He was just ready because of what he saw on Facebook and because of where he was in his life. But I already had an offline connection with him from many years ago being in school together. So do you see how both are so important? But I wanted you guys to see that only 14% of the people that I already knew offline said yes, strictly because of an online presence. Okay, does that make sense? Yeah.
For me, I should have worded it how you did. That was my 42%. So see how different like our numbers are, and obviously Rachel's business is different, her income is different, but same thing. If I didn't have every single one of those people were friends with me on Facebook, and they saw posts, and that's what got them interested, or I reached out to them. So 14% for Rachel, 42% for me. But that's why it's important that you have to have both.
Yes, absolutely. So you have to be able to do both. You don't have to be an expert in both, but I don't want you to feel like you have to hide behind your computer and just friend request a bunch of people and wait for them to comment on your posts and like knock down your door. That type of stuff happens like once or twice a year to those of us who've been really consistent online. And then all of a sudden we post the right thing at the right time and we have 10 people reach out to us. That's probably happened to me and Amanda and Carity and some of us who've been around for a while, but it happens like a few times a year. Okay, this is not how you build your business. The offline component is so important. It's vitally important. And it's a really good marriage with the online component. Okay, so I don't know if you guys can hear that in the background. Okay, so what I want to tell you guys is as far as like my network goes, because I know my network is different, but as I'm talking about this, I want you to write down what your network looks like. Okay, so as I'm looking at my Facebook friends, as I'm looking at everyone I've enrolled in my back office, I'm looking at, okay, how do I know these people? Where did I meet all these people? I would say with the exception of my family, the few family members I've enrolled, okay, that's a clue, the few family members I've enrolled, everyone else, I'm almost done, buddy. You can, okay, sorry, he's just gonna keep coming in. Most of the people that I've enrolled, I have met one of four ways, okay? Through church, through high school, right? How many people are friends with your high school, people you went to high school with on Facebook? One of the universities I've worked at. Here's the thing, you guys, I've worked at 3 different universities, but when you work at a university setting, especially in other states, I need you to stop knocking, okay? Okay, come in here and sit down right here. Okay, hey buddy, I need you just to wait 1 second, okay? When you work at a university setting, you are meeting these people who are coming in from all over the country or all over the world. And then once they graduate, they scatter, right? So my network is really unique, whereas Amanda's network's unique because she's been in like every sport imaginable, and not like normal sports, like obscure sports, and met the most incredible people. So if she went through her friend list on Facebook, I'm sure it would just be like bananas, all the different ways that she knows people and has met people. Most of the people that I've met have been through friends of friends. I took a class with this person. There are some people on my friends list, I'm sure you guys have this too, where I'm like, how do I know you? And I have to research. I'm like, who are our mutual friends? How do I know those people? Click on that person. You have to do some digging to figure it out. But eventually you find out, oh, open a message to this person. The last thing you sent them was like, hey, can I borrow your notes from history class like 12 years ago? So do some digging if you have to, but I guarantee you guys, you have a lot more connections than you even know about. But a lot of my network has come from my previous work at the university level. And then a lot of my enrollments have been from a community aspect. Okay, so taking church out of it, I have met so many people online in mom groups, community, but then we build a relationship offline by going to the park together, going to like mommy meetup play dates together, going to Bible studies together. There's you could list a million things that you can do in the community just by saying, hey, do you want to go do this with me? And I have been deemed a joiner in my family. I'm the person who's like done everything because I'm looking for opportunities. Most of the people in my family are not out there looking for opportunities to join things, but because I am, I see them. So I encourage you guys just to be open to that in your community. If you're not plugged in and doing at least one or two other things, you're really missing out on connecting with a lot of people. Caveat, does that mean that every single thing you join, you're going to enroll everybody in Isagenix? No. But part of what we do, we're professional networkers. Does that mean everyone's going to enroll in Isagenix? No. But guess what? Maybe the person that you meet in a Bible study knows somebody that, maybe you need like a financial advisor, like, oh, my brother's a financial advisor. Boom, connected with a financial advisor. Maybe his wife is somebody who doesn't want to go back to work after maternity leave. Boom, you have a solution for them. Did you know that brother? No. Did you know that other person in Bible study before you joined Bible study? No, but now you're connected with this woman over here who's desperate for a solution. So just put yourself out there. Be a good person. Say hi to people. Ask questions like Amanda was talking about. Online and offline relationships should be treated the same. My daughter found the box of e-shots. Hey, those are not for you. They're not for me either, baby. Okay, so my network consists of a lot of going out of the house. My network consists of a lot of people like me. I'm a young mom with young kids, and I love Jesus. A lot of the people that I was looking through in my enrollments, people from church, people from Bible studies, people from mom groups, people from play dates, it's all people like me. Is every single person like me? No, but a lot of them are. So I would encourage you to just like embrace your niche, embrace what you have. You're going to meet other people who are not like you, and that's great too, right? We love diversity in this business, but it's so important to really just figure out who you are, what are you interested in, and go join stuff, you guys. Go do that. Okay, so I want to tell you a couple of stories, a couple of examples. So you guys all, oh my gosh, Madeline. Hey, Madeline, no standing on the desk. You need to get down. Safety, baby. Take those with you. I don't care. Take the paper clips. Get off the desk. I'm so glad this is recorded. And I love solo parenting. Okay. No. Give me that. Okay. She's looking at the scissors, you guys. Yeah, Lori, you laugh. Next time this happens, Lori, you're coming over and you're going to watch these hooligans. Okay, what was I talking about? Oh, stories.
You wanted to give some examples. Yeah.
Examples, you guys. All right. So I told you guys how I met Meg, right? Meg, we love Meg. I met her online, but we spent a year talking on the phone, like once a month, every other month, following up, answering questions. So she finally pulled the trigger. Now she's like Miss Isagenix, like loves Isagenix. Same with Maddie. I told you the story about Maddie. Had a relationship beforehand, but because of something that happened online and he was ready, boom, it was his timing. And this is a side note on the online thing. Your presence online is not only to show people like what you stand for and what you can offer them, but be consistent online because you never know when someone's timing is going to be perfect. And guess what? What are people doing every day? Scrolling on Facebook. When the timing is perfect for them and they see you post about a detox or they see you post about freedom. I had a gal reach out to me today that I've talked to about Isagenix probably 5 times. And every time she's like, no, it's not for me. No, it's not for me. Are those paper clips or tacks? Okay. And right before I hopped on this call, she sent me a Facebook message that's like, hey, so we spent a year traveling through South America. They just moved up here to Coeur d'Alene. They're from Arizona. She's like, I don't think I can go do a regular 9-to-5 job anymore. Can you tell me more about what you do? Timing. Because she's like, I just saw you post last week about freedom and this and that, and it reminded me that you reached out and blah, blah, blah. You guys, timing. She's been saying no to me for years, but we went to school together in Arizona, and she traveled around for a year. And I was like, okay, well, she's in Brazil, so I mean, you know, it'll be a while. And she reached out to me because I've been consistent on social media. So your presence on social media is 100% authentically who you are, but do it as a service to the world. Show the world what you have to offer so that when XYZ people are ready, they know who to reach out to, okay? So another story. So you guys know Jacqueline and Calvin. This is probably one of my favorite how I met these people stories because this is like got God intervention written all over it. So Jacqueline and Calvin, gosh, sorry. There's so much going on behind me right now. I'll show you guys in a second. Hey, you guys, you can play with those, but you got to be quiet. Okay, thank you. Okay, so Jacqueline and Calvin, we were sitting at a table together at a marriage retreat, a young marriage retreat. And I remember we sat down at this table, and I looked at Calvin, and immediately I'm like, I know this guy from somewhere, because once you've met Calvin once, you don't forget that face or the hair. And I'm like, where do I know you from? And then Jacqueline came and sat down, and she's like, hi, as if she knew me. And I'm like, dang it. Ever felt like a jerk? Because you're like, oh my gosh, where do I know you from? I'm such a jerk. And she's like, oh yeah, I'm Kelsey's friend. I'm like, oh, okay. So rewind like 6 months. So this was in January of a couple years ago. Rewind 6 months earlier than that. I'm sitting in my friend Kelsey's living room. Our kids were born 3 days apart. And all of a sudden, Jacqueline comes out of the kitchen and sits down because she's living in their basement. But that's all the information that I get. And then Kelsey and I keep visiting, and Jacqueline just sits there and stares at us. And I'm like, who is this lady? No idea who she is. And she's just drinking her coffee, whatever. A couple minutes later, dark kitchen, mid-morning, emerges Calvin, freshly woken up. And I'm startled to the point where I'm like, is that your gardener? Like, who's this fellow? Okay, rewind, like 6 months before that, I go to my friend Kelsey's baby shower, and Jacqueline is the one hosting the baby shower. So when I saw Jacqueline in Kelsey's living room, I was like, oh yeah, I do know you. You hosted Kelsey's baby shower, whatever. Okay, a month before that, Kelsey and I have no idea who each other are. She sees me at the gym, super pregnant, like 32, 33 weeks pregnant, at the gym, and she comes up to me and she's like, hey, you look like you're in the same situation I'm in, and I'm wondering if you could help me with some workouts because I really want to stay fit the rest of my pregnancy. And I'm like, yeah, girl, let me get your number and we'll go grab lunch or something. Because a pregnant lady came up to me at the gym because I was out, and she said, hey, can you help me with this? And I said, yes. She invited me to her baby shower where Jacqueline was hosting it, and then Kelsey and I stayed friends. And then Jacqueline ended up living in her basement with her weirdo husband. And then 6 months later, we sat at the same table at a marriage retreat. And Jeff mentioned, we're going to buy a house in Mexico. Oh, what do you guys do? We own a network marketing business with Isagenix. 3 days after that marriage retreat, Jacqueline texted me in true Jacqueline fashion. No hello, no like, hey, it was so fun spending time with you. Just tell me more about this Isagenix thing. That's all. First text ever from Jacqueline. Tell me more about this Isagenix thing. I'm like, sure, what do you want? Like, let's meet. She came to a Super Saturday we were hosting, signed up that day. Like, you never know. You never know who you're going to.
I want to interject here.
Yes.
When Kelsey came and approached Rachel at the gym, Rachel could have said, oh, I just walk on the treadmill and I take this class from Cindy and you'll be on your way. Bye. No, she got her phone number. They connected. so and then that led to a bunch of other things. And I'm sure when you connected with Jacqueline, obviously at the marriage retreat, you guys exchanged numbers, you probably friended each other on Facebook. Like if you're talking with someone and you think, I'm probably never going to see this person again, friend them, get their contact information somehow, because the chances of you running into that person again are very slim. So use any opportunity you have that you're connecting with somebody to connect with them. I like social media because it's just efficient, but also you can get their phone number, and that's what Rachel's saying, offline relationships, but it's nurtured by her online presence and vice versa.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So real quick, Lori. So Amanda, thank you for bringing that up, because it would have been so easy for me just to be like, oh yeah, this is my aunt, I take her class, I highly recommend it. It's super adaptable to being pregnant. And that could have been it, right? But you guys, that right there was an open door for me to connect with her. Sometimes it would be weird to connect with them. Now, let me clarify. Some of you are making it weird. Some of you assume they're not going to want to friend me on Facebook. If you're like, okay, let me give you an example. If I'm like, oh yeah, I can help you with like workouts and stuff. Like, do you want to like be friends on Facebook and we can talk or something? She's gonna be like, creep. Okay, no thanks. Or she'll do it because she's nice, and then she'll block me as soon as I request her. But you guys, I was just like, oh my gosh, I would totally love to help you, because my friend Julian, real life story, personal trainer, his wife's had like a bazillion babies, and he wrote my workout plan for me. So yeah, let's meet up. I'll bring it with me, and we can like share notes and stuff. She's like, that would be great. And we found out our due dates were 3 days apart, and we're like, besties. So it just made sense. It would have been weird for me not to connect with her, okay? So some of you are missing opportunities to build that online relationship with an offline meeting, right? You meet somebody. If they're just like, if you're in the grocery store line and like, oh, I love your shoes. Oh, great. Want to connect on Facebook? That's weird. But if they're like, oh yeah, I actually am a brand rep for these shoes or whatever, it's like, what? Okay, I got to follow you on Insta. Like, here, pull it out or whatever.
Don't be weird. That is the theme of this call. Like, here, I wanted to be brutally honest and funny. So I met a girl at this barbecue. We hit it off. She was super sweet. I mentioned briefly, I work with Isagenix. Have you heard of it? Yeah, I have. Cool. Then we changed the subject. She's awesome. I sent her a message today. I friended her before I left the bar, keep in mind. And I said, I was scrolling through your posts and doing a little Facebook stalking, smiley face, and I just love all your clothes. I'm going on a work trip soon and need to stock up. Where do you do most of your shopping? So I straight up said, I was Facebook stalking you because that's what people do, right? You Facebook stalk people. And I legit had a legit compliment for her and a question. You guys, it doesn't have to be weird. Like, don't make it weird. What would you say to someone in real life? Like, or if you're online, be honest. Like, somebody sent me a message. Okay, I've been stalking you. I've been scrolling through all your posts. I want what all these transformations, like I want what all these people have. Like, cool, here you go. I'll serve it up to you. So people are stalking you. You can stalk them. But I just was being funny in that message, but that was the truth. So don't make it weird. Like, make it casual, if that makes sense.
Yeah. And does that mean that interaction is going to end in an enrollment and then end in this person being an Isagenix millionaire? Odds are no. But Amanda is a professional networker, so she's doing her job, which will then lead to her success in Isagenix. But guess what? Building a network of amazing people builds your success in life. So just do life well and network with amazing people. And along the way, you will have success. That's what we found. I've met the most incredible people through Isagenix, and bonus, I get to feed my kids because of it. So Don't touch those scissors.
You're getting paid to make friends. I know that sounds cliche, but you are. You're getting paid to send friend requests. You're getting paid to send compliments to people. You make friends depending on your financial situation, depending on why you're choosing to build Isagenix, let me put that in. If you're doing it because you need the money to pay your bills, like, what is harder, sending messages or approaching someone or giving them a compliment, or being frustrated or having to go work a job that you hate or being in debt? You guys, you have to practice it. And I sometimes will sit and I'm just like, sometimes I'm on an airplane and I'm like, I'm not in the mood to talk to people next to me. I'm just not. And sometimes I don't, because I don't want to fake it. I don't want it to be weird. And other times I'm like, Amanda, go talk to that person. And I never regret it, because people are so cool and you meet the coolest people. And Same goes for online. Like I could tell you all the messages and like how I friended people. Like one, Cassie, I complimented her on some cupcakes that she made. She made cupcakes for her husband. I commented on the picture. Oh my God, these look so good. And I messaged her, hey, do you have a recipe for those cupcakes? Those look delicious. And she's like, yeah, actually, here you go. And we kept the conversation going. It sparked that. Lots of compliments, lots of, oh my gosh, I love your baby. Oh, where did you get that? Asking for recommendations. So don't be weird in person. Don't be weird online. Have a good mixture of both and practice. You're going to be weird. You're going to be awkward. Charity, I don't know about Rachel, but I know Charity and I for sure used to put so much pressure on ourselves in the beginning. We'd go to Target or I would be at the gym and we'd be like, I'm not leaving until I connect with 3 people on Facebook. Then you like loiter in the gym locker room like a creep and you're like waiting for someone to come around and then you like awkwardly or like Charity would be, like cruising down the line. She told me the story. She was in Target. She saw this really cute mommy and she said she went down the aisle like 3 or 4 different times, like pushing her cart, like trying to muster up the courage to say something to her, and then she like didn't. And then she gets all flustered and you like waste half the day because you're like loitering and being weird. Don't be weird. Start conversations naturally.
Weird. Oh
okay, I was at a football game. Jared coaches football. I was sitting in the stands by myself last season. There's a really cute mommy next to me. Obviously, her son is playing on the team. I say, oh, which one of yours is out there? And we connected because I was like, I would love to not sit at these games by myself. Are you on Facebook? Let's sit together. Now, oh yay, now I have a buddy to sit with at these games. And she's not enrolled in Isagenix, not yet, but we've talked about it a bunch. And you know what? Maybe this is cocky, but it's only a matter of time. They all come around at some point and want to know what you're doing and ask you about it or vice versa. So it's worth it to make those connections, make those friendships, be authentic, be genuine, and just freaking do it because it's so worth it.
Absolutely. All right, Lori, you have a question?
Well, you guys kind of talked about it a little bit, but I feel like in a lot of situations, I'm the queen of awkward. Like, I don't. And
in real life, what?
What's that?
In real life?
Yeah, I can't be the only one. So, like, I don't know if it's because I'm old or if it's because I didn't grow up networking, you know what I mean? Or I don't know, but like you keep saying, don't be weird. How?
Okay, so Amanda and I actually talked about this, not you, Lori, but like this in general, where it's like, so how do you not be weird, right? Because I'm a firm believer that courage comes before confidence. You don't just see somebody that you're like, I just want to connect with them. I don't know why, but they're cute mom or, they look like they're a lot of fun or whatever. I just want to connect with them. But you're not just like, okay, boom, confidence hat. I'm going to go up to this person and we're going to be besties. Courage comes before confidence. So what I would tell you is, where's that courage lacking? Because anytime I felt like I don't want to approach somebody or I don't want to connect with somebody, I'm making it about me. And so I'm projecting some sort of insecurity or some sort of, oh, I'm too tired or like brattiness or whatever, because we all get there. But I'm projecting that on the situation. And so one of the things my kids are crawling up my clothes right now. One of the things that has helped me a lot with that is building confidence in myself, is personal growth. So I would say, think about the area that what terrifies you about approaching someone, because you're only really awkward if you're nervous, right? Or if you're putting too much pressure on it, or your emotions are like this, when really it's just about like, hey, you're a human, I'm a human. Should we be friends? No? Cool. Okay, it's cool. Yes? Awesome. Like, it can actually be that simple, but we make it so complicated. So I would encourage you guys, if you're feeling weird about connecting, if you're feeling, and this is not all on Lori. I just know that I've had a lot of people ask me about this. If you're feeling weird about connecting, or you're worried about being awkward, or you're just afraid of rejection, or you're afraid, whatever that is, that stems back to this right here. Personal growth is going to be so important. If you're not immersed in a book or in a podcast every day for even just 10 minutes, then you're going to have a much harder time getting over that hump and building up that courage to get to that confidence. Because right now, I can put my confidence hat on like that, because I've built up that courage and I've developed myself enough that when I sit down next to somebody, if I start telling myself all these stories about why they're not going to want to talk to me and blah, 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 and it's like, okay, well, that's dumb. Confidence hat, boom, I'm going to talk to them. I used to not be that way. I used to think like, oh my gosh, they're going to know I'm trying to sell them something. By saying hello, I'm like, no, people are not mind readers. As cool as people are, they're not mind readers. So I would encourage you guys, if you have any angst, explore that. And if you need help, reach out to me or Amanda or somebody and just say, hey, okay, I'm not quite sure how I want to reach out to people. I'm feeling nervous about it. And we will help you dig, because there's a reason in here and in here why you're worried about being awkward. And that's not just you, Lori, that's like all the yous.
Yeah. The other thing too is like Lexi and Jane and Jessica, I think, commented, you guys are all in the chat saying the same thing. If you are messaging someone with or talking to them at the bus stop, okay, and you're thinking the whole time, okay, how can I bring up Isagenix? How can I insert it? Like, how can I interject it? You are going to be awkward and weird. You need to actually ask them questions and listen to what they're saying, and Isagenix will take care of itself. If it makes sense to come up in the conversation, great. If it doesn't, then don't. There are people that I've never talked to about Isagenix ever, and they probably know what I'm doing because I see me doing it online, but when I'm in person, if it hasn't made sense to bring it up, then I don't bring it up. So that's first and foremost. Don't have it in your brain of like, you know, it's tough because this is an income producing activity. When you send messages and friend requests, that is an income producing activity. But I don't want you to think about it that way. It's like you just want to meet as many cool people as you can, and you want to be genuine, and you want to get out of your comfort zone. That is huge, to get out of your comfort zone. I used to be hashtag literally no new friends. I would put it on everything. I did not want new friends. And I figured out like I have to make new friends if I want to be good at this business. And now I have so many amazing new friends. Like Rachel said, you meet the coolest freaking people that you would never have met because I complimented someone's shirt. This is a true story. She had tacos on her shirt at the bus stop. We were both waiting to go downtown. I complimented her. People are really friendly too. And if they're not, then move on. But if you compliment them or ask them a question and they start talking back to you, keep going. Here's the other thing. People love to talk about themselves. It will never be weird and awkward if you keep asking questions to somebody. Keep asking them questions. Oh, how do you know the bride and groom? Oh, we used to work together. Really? Where did you work? Oh, we worked at this company. Oh, cool. What did you do there? Oh, I was in marketing. Oh, awesome. Is that your background? How long have you been doing that? Oh, this many years. Cool. Like, is it your dream job? Would you stay doing that? No, honestly, I'd rather bake pies all day long. Oh my God, I love pie. Chocolate pie is my favorite. What's your favorite kind of pie? Keep the conversation going and ask questions. Get them talking about themselves. Take the focus off you. Take the focus off Isagenix. It will, if you have a genuine heart to share, if you genuinely think Isagenix will help people, I sound like Rachel now. Old Amanda would have never talked like this, and she knows this. If you genuinely,
so proud of you.
It's the truth. If you genuinely believe in the product, if you genuinely talk to someone who has a need for them, you are a selfish a-hole if you don't tell them about Isagenix. If someone is struggling and you have, oh, I've got that all in the bag, good luck with that. No, that's where it's not awkward, because Jane has had amazing results. She hasn't even been using the products very long. The proof is in the pudding. Other people want what you have, Jane. So you kind of owe it to them to tell them all about it and let them decide if it's right for them. It's just that simple. So it's not going to be awkward if you genuinely want to get to know people.
Okay, so one thing I want to give you guys a tangible step, okay, for those of you who are feeling weird and awkward, and this can go for anyone, even if you're a fantastic connector. What are the things in your life you feel really confident in? Either something like a skill that you have, something that if I were to say, and this might probably make some of you want to pass out, but if I were to say, okay, I'm going to put you up on a team call in front of 10 people, team call, 10 people, right? I almost said stage of 10,000 people, so just feel lucky. But I'm going to put you on a team call next Monday, and I want you to talk about anything. What could you talk about in your life? It doesn't have to be any sort of expectation. Just what is something you're comfortable talking about? Maybe for some of you, you could talk about how to play soccer. Maybe for some of you, like I could probably teach self-defense, probably not on a team call, but you know what I mean? Like, what is something in your life you have confidence in? Something that if I were to say you have to, in front of other people, share a little bit about yourself or about a topic that you're well-versed in. Maybe it's a degree you got in school. Maybe like, I know Deb is super passionate about outdoors. Like if you were to ask Deb, like, Deb, get on a team call and talk about being outside. She would talk for 5 hours and then I'd have to just end the meeting because she'd just keep going because she's so passionate about it. Find something. It can be something like, I'm good at crocheting, or I love dogs, or I just bought a house and it's stellar. It doesn't matter. What is something that you feel really good about in your life that you even have this much confidence in, and figure out ways to network for that. Okay, whether that be Facebook groups around whatever that common interest is, whether that be finding groups in your community that you can be a part of that have to do with that. Maybe there's not something that already exists. Guess what? Start it. Okay, if you're looking for something to be a part of that has to do with what you're passionate about and how you can add value to people, and it doesn't exist yet, other people are looking for it too. So go start it in your community. Like, easy.
Jessica, my friend Jessica on this call, she said she loves tattoos. Every person you see with a sweet tattoo, you compliment them, you tell them, you talk to them about it. You show them yours, you ask them where they got it done. After I had knee surgery and I had that long, like from hip to ankle knee brace, leg brace on, I see so many people with that on, and you know what I do? I talk to every single person. I talk to everybody. Oh my God, did you have ACL surgery? Oh, it gets better. I promise you. You'll hang in there. I met a really cool guy at the gym because he had a knee brace on and we connected over our ACL surgery. You know, keep that top of mind. And that's what you're going to start noticing people with that. Compliment people, talk to them, ask them questions, whatever. Like Rachel approached a girl in the gym locker room who's wearing a shirt. She did like a charity run, I think, a charity race or something. And she was like, tell me more about, like, what is this foundation? And she was like, oh my God, I'm so passionate. I want to tell you all about it. Obviously, she's wearing a t-shirt that says it on there. Like, Deb's shirt, does that say life is limitless or something about, yeah, okay. So she wouldn't be wearing a shirt if she didn't want, if, you know, she's not going to be offended if you come up and ask her about it. Or like, Lexi, what does your shirt say? Montana State, Michigan State? Okay, so hello, like, if I said, oh, did you go to Michigan State? And if Lexi was like, ew, screw you, don't talk to me, I'd be like, okay, well, you're wearing a shirt that said that. Like, I think I can ask you about it, right? Just don't be shy. And then here's another tip. Look for the person that's smiling and talkative. If you're at a wedding, if you're at a party, if you're at a picnic, don't go approach the person that's in the corner with their head down in the bad body language. And don't be that person either. Talk to the person that's smiling and nice and conversational, and that's going to be so much easier. I used to work in downtown Seattle, and I would be in the bus tunnel underneath the city, and everyone has their headphones in and everyone has their head down. No one wants to talk, but there's this one girl who, eyes up, she was smiling, she was making eye contact with people, she had no headphones in. I zeroed in on her, we had a conversation, we've connected. She hasn't enrolled in Isagenix, but she's a sweet, nice person. I knew that I was going to have better luck talking with her than the person with their head down who's probably going to say, screw you, I'm busy here. So, and same goes for online. If someone's posting something that's weird and awkward, like, don't approach that person. If they're posting stuff that you like, that you're all about, that you can get behind and get excited about, talk with those people. Hopefully Lori, did that help? Is that giving you some tangible, like, advice?
Yeah, that's helpful. Thank you.
Okay. The other thing too is, like, feel confident. Like, right now I'm wearing the nastiest, grossest outfit. I have no makeup on. And if I were to go, like, I just wouldn't feel super comfortable going out and about and approaching, like, cute moms and that kind of a thing. So do what you need to do to feel confident. If you need to put some makeup on, if you need to do your hair, if you need to put on a cute outfit, like, be confident so that you feel good and you can glow from the inside out, whatever that is for you. I was at a barbecue recently and I met this other really cute mom, and our babies were similar in age. But goes back to what Rachel said. I was so insecure with how I looked. I felt like my tummy was still hanging out. I felt like my hair was all crazy from the humidity. And this girl looked gorgeous, head to toe, perfect. She was like this 5'10" blonde gazelle, I swear to you. And she was so sweet. But I let that get in the way, and I didn't connect with her on Facebook, and I'm still kicking myself. That was weeks and weeks ago. I let it get in the way, which is stupid, and I'm never going to do that again. She was so sweet and so nice. We had so much in common. That is someone that I definitely should have connected with. So don't leave those situations and being like, shoot, I really should have connected with that person. Also, say yes to everything. If someone invites you to something and you're like, oh man, I'm not going to know anyone there, I shouldn't go. That's the exact type of event you should go to. I know that I was supposed to talk about online and now I'm talking about offline, but you have to have both. Okay, so anyway, this call has gone about an hour now, so I'm going to close it out. Literally, we could do hours and upon hours of training on each one of those little things that we talked about. So don't feel overwhelmed. This is going to take practice. You're going to find your groove. You're going to find what feels comfortable for you. Don't be afraid to send your upline. That's a weird word, but don't be afraid to send them screenshots of your conversations and ask, how would you respond to this? And then we can help you guys, because Rachel and Carity and I and anyone else who's been doing this, we've sent thousands and thousands and thousands of messages. It's just practice. It's just practice, and you'll get much better at it. And the cool thing about online is that you can take however long you need to take to craft up a message. You don't have to think about something on the spot and write it. You can really take some time, which is easier than in person sometimes. Okay, well, that's it for the team call. Rachel, thanks for recording this. She's going to post this in the group. And remember, it takes practice, but keep going. It's so worth it. You're literally getting paid to make friends. That's what this is all about. So get out there, expand your networks, and let us know how that goes if you have any questions. That's it. Okay, bye, guys.